Have you ever wondered what gives great minds like Marcus Aurelius their unshakable calm and inner strength? The answer lies in Stoic habits, timeless practices that can transform your mindset and elevate your life. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get overwhelmed by stress and emotional chaos. Yet centuries ago, Stoic philosophers uncovered profound principles to master emotions and find true inner peace. Today we'll explore Stoic habits, a powerful framework that can help you gain clarity, self-control, and personal growth. This video will not only explain the philosophy behind these habits, but also provide practical steps you can start applying today. You'll discover how to manage your emotions, improve focus, and live a life of purpose through actionable wisdom inspired by Stoic philosophy. I will break down 5 transformative Stoic habits, including journaling, mindful eating, and limiting screen time. Each habit will be paired with philosophical insights, real-life applications, and personal benefits, so you can implement them immediately. If you're ready to take control of your mind and embrace a more meaningful life guided by ancient wisdom, stay tuned. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss future insights from Stoic teachings today. Number 1. Journaling, the Stoic habit for self-mastery. The ancient Stoics believed that self-reflection was a cornerstone of personal growth and mental clarity. Journaling, or the practice of recording thoughts and reflections, was a key component of their daily routine. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, used journaling extensively in his personal work. Meditations, not as a tool for public display, but as a way to examine his thoughts, actions, and emotions privately. At its core, journaling embodies the Stoic principle of self-awareness and rational reflection. By writing down our thoughts, we distance ourselves from emotional reactions, allowing for a more objective assessment of our behavior. The Stoics taught that examining our judgments, desires, and fears helps us cultivate wisdom and inner calm. As Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Journaling is the practice of confronting those imagined fears and gaining clarity over them. But how does this ancient practice apply to modern life? Imagine finishing your day and feeling overwhelmed by stress, lingering worries, or unresolved conflicts. Instead of letting these thoughts control your mood, journaling offers a structured outlet. By documenting your experiences, both positive and negative, you externalize these thoughts, preventing them from clouding your mind. It becomes a tool for emotional release and mental decluttering. Incorporating Stoic habits like journaling into your life doesn't require hours of writing. Start simple. Dedicate 5 to 10 minutes every evening to reflect on your day. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? What could I improve? Document emotional triggers. Write about situations where you felt reactive or out of control. Focus on gratitude. List a few things you are thankful for, no matter how small. The personal benefits of journaling go beyond just stress relief. It can significantly enhance your self-discipline, improve decision-making, and build emotional resilience. Writing forces you to clarify your thoughts, which can reveal patterns in your behavior, helping you identify areas for improvement. For example, Marcus Aurelius often reflected on his failures in his writings, not to dwell on them, but to learn and grow from his imperfections. A personal practice you can start today. Keep a simple notebook by your bedside. Each evening, write a brief summary of your thoughts, focusing on progress rather than perfection. If you're unsure how to start, consider journaling prompts inspired by Stoic habits, such as, what challenges did I face today and how did I respond? What virtue did I embody today? Wisdom, courage, justice, or temperance? Remember, journaling is not about creating perfect entries or poetic language. It's about truthful self-examination. The goal is clarity, growth, and mastering your mind. By embracing this Stoic habit, you are not just recording thoughts, you are actively transforming your mindset. As Epictetus said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Writing is a step toward choosing your responses more wisely. Take action today. Start journaling, and witness how this timeless practice can bring greater peace, clarity, and strength to your life. Number 2, waking up early, the Stoic path to mastering your time. Rising early has been a timeless practice among philosophers, leaders, and thinkers seeking clarity and self-mastery. The Stoics, especially Marcus Aurelius, believed that starting the day early allowed for greater control over the mind and a purposeful approach to life. In Meditations, he wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, remind yourself, I am rising to do the work of a human being." The core principle behind waking up early in Stoic habits is rooted in the idea of self-discipline and intentional living. The morning offers a rare window of silence and stillness, perfect for reflection, planning, and personal growth. By rising early, you reclaim the most precious resource, time. Time to prepare, to reflect, and to take meaningful action before the distractions of the world take over. But how can this ancient wisdom apply to your modern life? Imagine waking up while the world is still quiet, free from notifications, emails, and the noise of the digital age. Instead of rushing into your day, you begin with mindfulness. Perhaps it starts with journaling your thoughts or reading a passage from Meditations. This unhurried start can set a tone of calm focus for the entire day. Incorporating Stoic habits like waking up early doesn't require drastic changes. It begins with small, consistent steps. Here's how you can start. Adjust gradually. Try waking up just 15 minutes earlier each day for a week. Create a purpose. Plan a meaningful morning routine, whether it's journaling, light exercise, or silent reflection. Eliminate nighttime distractions. Reduce screen time before bed to ensure quality rest. The personal benefits of waking up early go far beyond productivity. It creates mental clarity and a greater sense of control over your life. When you own the first moments of your day, you cultivate a mindset of discipline. It's no longer about reacting to external demands, but proactively shaping your life. A memorable application of this Stoic habit comes from Marcus Aurelius himself. Despite being the most powerful man of his time, he wrote extensively about the struggle of rising early and overcoming comfort. He reminded himself that life was not meant for luxury, but for purposeful action. This insight teaches us that even great minds face challenges, but they chose discipline over indulgence. If you're considering trying this practice, here's a personal tip. Start your mornings with a small win. Perhaps it's making your bed, meditating for a few minutes, or simply enjoying a cup of tea in silence. Small victories build momentum for the rest of the day. Remember, waking up early isn't just about having more hours, it's about using those hours intentionally. It's a quiet rebellion against chaos, a way to reclaim control of your mind and focus on what truly matters. Start tomorrow. Set your alarm 15 minutes earlier. Embrace the discomfort. As Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. With each morning you rise early, you'll be living proof that Stoic habits have the power to transform your life. Number 3, limiting screen time, the Stoic path to mental clarity. In a world consumed by constant notifications and endless scrolling, the practice of limiting screen time has become more essential than ever. The Stoics, who emphasized mastering the mind and focusing only on what truly matters, would undoubtedly advocate for this modern adaptation of their philosophy. Marcus Aurelius himself wrote, "You have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The overwhelming influx of digital distractions is a modern external event that demands mastery. The core Stoic principle behind limiting screen time is rooted in intentional focus and mindful attention. The constant consumption of information fragments our thoughts, dilutes our focus, and weakens our ability to live with purpose. For the Stoics, true wisdom comes from minimizing distractions and directing the mind toward what truly serves personal growth and virtue. How does this principle apply in today's hyper-connected world? Imagine a day where your mind feels clear, your focus sharp, and your thoughts intentional. By limiting screen time, you create space for real presence, engaging deeply with your tasks, conversations, and self-reflection. Instead of being pulled in countless directions, your mind regains clarity, much like the teachings of Epictetus, who reminded us, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Stepping back from digital noise often feels uncomfortable, but it is a path toward mastery. To integrate Stoic habits like limiting screen time into your life, start with these practical steps. Set clear boundaries. Establish a daily limit on non-essential screen use, such as 1 hour per day for social media. Digital decluttering. Unsubscribe from unnecessary notifications and limit the apps that demand your attention. Screen-free mornings and evenings. Avoid using screens for at least 30 minutes after waking up and before going to bed. The personal benefits of limiting screen time extend far beyond productivity. It allows you to reclaim mental space, reduce anxiety, and reconnect with real-life experiences. Imagine spending your mornings in quiet reflection rather than mindless scrolling. Picture deeper conversations without the constant urge to check your phone. This practice fosters mental clarity, stronger relationships, and emotional stability, the very virtues celebrated in Stoic habits. A personal insight: when I first experimented with limiting screen time, the silence felt uncomfortable. Yet with time, I realized it wasn't silence, it was clarity. The absence of constant digital stimulation allowed me to focus better, read more deeply, and feel more present with my surroundings. It became a reminder that discomfort often precedes growth, a core lesson from Seneca, who taught, "The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable." Reducing digital distractions grounded me in the present moment. If you're considering applying this Stoic habit, here's a simple way to begin. Try a screen-free hour every evening. Replace it with reading, journaling, or engaging in a meaningful offline activity. Track your mood and focus. Notice how your clarity improves over a week. Remember, limiting screen time isn't about rejecting technology entirely. It's about reclaiming control over your attention. The goal is not to escape the digital world, but to use it with intention and purpose. As Marcus Aurelius wisely put it, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Choose to color your mind with clarity, presence, and wisdom. Start today. Take control of your attention. Embrace the Stoic wisdom of limiting screen time and unlock a clearer, calmer, and more intentional life. Number 4. Daily exercise. Cultivating physical strength through Stoic habits. The Stoics believed that caring for the body was just as important as cultivating the mind. For them, physical discipline was not vanity, it was a practice in self-mastery. Seneca once wrote, "We should take walks outdoors, so that the mind might be refreshed and strengthened by being outdoors as well." Daily exercise, in the eyes of the Stoics, was not just about health, it was about strengthening discipline, resilience, and clarity. At the heart of this Stoic habit lies the principle of mastering the body to master the mind. The Stoics taught that the body is an extension of the mind, and caring for it builds mental strength. A well-maintained body allows the mind to stay sharp, disciplined, and present. Epictetus famously reminded his students, "Difficulties are what show men's character. So when trouble comes, think of yourself as a wrestler, the gods matched with a tough opponent." Physical challenges reveal who we are. How does this ancient wisdom translate into modern life? Imagine dedicating a part of your day to intentional physical movement, whether it's a morning run, yoga, or a simple stretching routine. Instead of approaching exercise as a chore, it becomes a tool for personal mastery. Moving your body regularly trains both discipline and endurance, the very virtues essential to living a balanced life guided by Stoic habits. Incorporating daily exercise into your life doesn't have to be extreme. It's about consistency, not intensity. Here's how you can begin. Start small, commit to just 20 minutes a day. Walking, light yoga, or bodyweight movements are excellent options. Consistency over perfection. Focus on building the habit, not perfecting the routine. Combine mindfulness. Use this time for reflection. Focus on your breathing and physical sensations. The benefits of adopting this Stoic habit go far beyond physical health. Regular movement enhances mental clarity, reduces stress, and creates a sense of control. Exercise becomes a form of meditation, a practice where you disconnect from distractions and become fully present. A personal insight: when I first committed to daily exercise, it wasn't about achieving physical goals. It was about proving to myself that I could remain disciplined. On the days when motivation was low, I reminded myself of Marcus Aurelius's words, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This mindset shifted my view. Exercise was no longer about appearance, but about mental resilience. If you're considering adopting this Stoic habit, here's a simple way to start. Choose an activity you enjoy. Whether it's walking, cycling, or basic calisthenics, find something sustainable. Set a clear goal. Aim for consistency, a certain number of sessions per week. Reflect post-workout. After each session, journal how you felt physically and mentally. Remember, the goal of daily exercise is not physical perfection. It's about cultivating discipline and mastering the mind. As the Stoics taught, true strength lies not just in physical power, but in the ability to conquer oneself. Start today. Move your body. Strengthen your mind. Let this practice remind you that, as Seneca said, it is not because things are difficult that we do not dare, but because we do not dare, they are difficult. Number 5. Mindful eating. Cultivating presence through Stoic habits. The ancient Stoics taught that self-control and awareness were essential virtues in mastering the mind. But what if this wisdom extended beyond thoughts and emotions, into the very act of nourishing our bodies? Mindful eating, a modern adaptation of Stoic habits, is not just about what we eat, but how we approach each meal with intention and presence. At the core of Stoic philosophy lies the idea of moderation and mindfulness. Seneca, in his letters, advised restraint and awareness even in the simplest pleasures, stating, "We should eat to live, not live to eat." The act of eating was never meant to be indulgent, but a necessary practice to sustain life and health. Marcus Aurelius, too, reflected on this principle, reminding himself, "Don't be a slave to your appetites. Approach every necessity with balance." In a world filled with distractions, TV screens, social media, and endless multitasking, the simple act of eating has become rushed and mindless for many. But mindful eating as a Stoic habit invites us to slow down, to truly experience the present moment. Picture yourself sitting at a table, free from digital noise, savoring each bite with full attention. This practice transforms a basic necessity into a moment of self-awareness. Applying mindful eating in daily life. Incorporating this Stoic habit is not complicated. Begin with small, intentional steps. Eliminate distractions. Turn off your phone and step away from screens while eating. Eat slower. Take smaller bites and chew thoroughly, focusing on the texture and flavor. Practice gratitude. Pause for a moment before your meal to acknowledge the nourishment it provides. Engage your senses. Pay attention to the aroma, taste, and even the sounds of your food. The benefits of mindful eating. Practicing mindful eating offers far more than just better digestion. Improved health. Eating slower allows the body to digest food more effectively, reducing overeating. Mental clarity. By focusing on the present, you create a break from mental clutter. Self-control. Reducing impulsive eating habits strengthens your discipline, a core tenet of Stoic habits. A personal insight. When I first tried mindful eating, it felt strange. I was used to eating while scrolling through my phone or watching TV. But as I gradually embraced the practice, meals became more fulfilling. The simple act of pausing before a meal to reflect on where the food came from made me feel more connected, not just to the food itself, but to the present moment. Over time, this small habit improved my ability to stay focused and grounded throughout the day. How to start practicing this Stoic habit today? Start small. Choose one meal a day to practice full mindfulness. Reflect. Journal how the experience made you feel after the meal. Progress. Gradually, expand this practice to all meals as you become comfortable. Mindful eating isn't about restriction or dietary perfection. It's about presence, the very essence of Stoic habits. By transforming an everyday activity into an intentional practice, you build greater self-awareness, control, and appreciation for life's simplest moments. Begin today. With your next meal, pause, breathe, savor each bite. As Epictetus taught, freedom is the ability to control your own mind. Let this habit be a step toward mastering not just your diet, but your entire life. As we conclude, remember that these Stoic habits, journaling, waking up early, limiting screen time, daily exercise, and mindful eating, are more than just routines. They are tools for cultivating self-discipline, clarity, and personal growth. Each habit, rooted in ancient Stoic wisdom, empowers you to take control of your mind, actions, and emotions. By applying these principles daily, you'll experience greater focus, emotional resilience, and a stronger connection to your purpose. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Start small. Choose one Stoic habit today and observe how it transforms your mindset. If this message resonates with you, consider sharing it with others who seek wisdom and self-improvement. Subscribe to Stoic Teachings today for more insights on living a life of wisdom, virtue, and inner peace.